Let's try this again. Ready, chat. What is it? 3:10. All right. What's going on, Crockpot family? And welcome back to another episode of the Crockpot Podcast. It's your boy Chef Zay, and this is the official recap episode of the Browns versus the Saints. And honestly, I shouldn't have much to say about these losers. Rick, shout out to you again, bro. Matt, appreciate both of you guys for all the love. Y'all are crazy. But man, there is a lot to low key unpack in this game because it was about as bad as it could possibly get. When you thought you had opportunities to make plays and to win the game, I mean, Jameis Winston had 395 yards and 2 touchdowns with no interceptions, and yet you still lost by 21. And quite frankly, I don't know how we're supposed to watch the next 7 games of this because the defense is officially checked out. That was the one thing that I was holding on to and grasping to. I was like, well, when the defense checks out, that's when I'll pretty much check out. I saw a checked out defense today. I saw a defense that made plays. I saw obviously Denzel Ward had a phenomenal game. Obo had a couple good plays, but other than that, Myles Garrett was a pedestrian. Hate using that word and saying it, but he was pedestrian today. And when you needed your defense to step up, usually when they do in the second half, they just didn't do it. Did look like the opposing defensive coordinator was back on our sideline coaching, and they forgot how to play football. They forgot how to tackle. They forgot how to communicate again. Like all of these things that we wanted to get rid of. We wanted to get rid of Joe Woods for happened today, and they were checked out games ago when Joe Woods was our defensive coordinator. And to see a team that went 11-6 with the number one defense in the league come out this year in 9 weeks, and like it's not like I blame them. It's not like I blame them, but you know what happened to this season? I don't even know where to go with my thoughts because this game is low key an indication of the season that we had. You had like you had a lot of hope coming out of the bye week. Jameis Winston returning to his former team, so you feel like you have some momentum. Nick Chubb has another week to get back healthy, and he has a favorable matchup against a Saints team who you feel like you should be able to run the ball on. Like, so you have all like the defense up until this point hadn't officially thrown in the towel. There have been so many things to happen leading up to this point. That's like, yeah, this is the game. If anything, they're gonna win this game. And then they come out and just get absolutely destroyed. What the hell happened to Dustin Hopkins? I don't know what happened to Dustin Hopkins, but we talked about it a little bit on the live stream. And them, when Kevin Stefanski didn't let Dustin Hopkins kick the one field goal, I felt like that's when he lost his mental and everything just started to slowly go downhill from there. But what I saw today had Vegas written all over it. Did it not? Like, I've never seen it. We're talking about you get another try to kick a chip shot, and it looks like you're purposely missing kicks. I hate to say that, but Vegas made the call. There's no way that should have happened twice in a row, and you're getting paid $28 million or whatever it is that we gave you because you were so good and so automatic. But again, this is an indication of what this entire season is. Looking back at the first half, I had some things written down, and at this point, anything that I wrote down doesn't matter because the team is what they are at this point. Alvin Kamara, what was his stat line? He had 16 of 67. I mean, with Taysom Hill, my goodness. I'll get to him in a second. But in the first half, Alvin Kamara was averaging like 10 yards a pop. Guys were running the ball and not getting touched. until 7 yards down the field. Do you know how embarrassing that is? The defense should not even like when Jim Schwartz watches like puts the film on in the locker room. The first thing that he should do, then the only thing that he should do is just show every play where they ran the ball and they didn't get touched for 7 to 8 yards, and all the yardage that it added up should come into running because that's just effort. We went back to it's just effort. They gave our defense the one thing that gave us all the effort, gave us no effort when it mattered most. The 2-point conversion design, they get the onsides or whatever it was, so they get the ball at the 1 and they go for it. And when you look back at the replay, they go bootleg, and the best player on the Saints defensive team, Jordan, goes through scot-free, and there isn't a single receiver thrown down the field. There isn't a single receiver downfield. Well, downfield or in the end zone. So in my mind, I'm thinking, was that a design quarterback run? What terrible play call. 40 seconds to go in the second half, or at the end of the second quarter. You're driving down the field, and you go timeout with 40 seconds to go with the ball at the 35-ish yard line, I believe, when you had just got a first down. You had an opportunity to come up the clock and with probably 30 seconds to go. That gives you a shot at the middle of the field, plus a spike, and you still have your timeout. Instead, you go timeout there with 35 seconds or 40 seconds to 35 seconds to go. You go end zone shot, doesn't convert, and you get nothing out of it. You end up settling for a field goal. He misses, you get blessed, and then you have to go to the end zone every single play the next time because you have no timeouts. And you end up coming with no points going into the half. Again, terrible coaching. This has been as bad of a season as it could possibly be. I don't even know if 0-9 or 0-8 would feel worse than what the 2-8 is, because the 2 wins that we had were flukes. It was BS wins. You steal a win against a terrible Jacksonville team who has just as many problems as us. And then you put on this miraculous performance against a division opponent, giving us just that little sliver of hope that Browns fans can cling to. And then you get absolutely pissed on by the Chargers at home the following week. You go out of the bye week and then you come out and get pissed on again. You let Taysom Hill run a 75-yard run at the end of the game on 2nd and 7. All that this is to me is I am done with I'm done with the experiment. And if that means you have to get rid of Andrew Berry, if that means you have to get rid of Kevin Stefanski, then at this point, so be it. But if they're going to continue to roll out this product, if they're going to continue to, and not just for this year, I'm talking about if they're going to continue to roll out this product for the next few years, how are we supposed to buy in? How are we supposed to buy in until the Brook Park? Because what exactly is going to make us feel like Brook Park is going to be any different by putting all your eggs in that basket? Because what was so close is now so freaking far, because in this offseason, guess what conversations are going to be had? Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, David Njoku, Denzel Ward, JOK's health. Grant Delpit more than likely is a guy who would probably be traded. or ask for a trade or find a way to go play winning football. You're talking about all your cornerstone pieces are not going to be in question. This is the path that the Browns are headed down right now. Because if I'm Miles Garrett, we already know he's probably going to get surgery on his feet at the end of the season. Is he going to want to go through another rebuild? Denzel Ward, we know with his injuries, his health, concussions, somebody will probably fork up a draft pick that's you can't say no to. And then you're right back to where you were in 2016. I just don't understand what direction they go. Because all of the guys are saying this is a terrible quarterback class, and that's just our luck. Your offensive line has the most question marks ever, and I'm sure we'll see Jedrick Wills next week. You have Jerry Judy as your wide receiver one right now, and you somehow don't know how to scheme up a 6'4" receiver who is as physical as anybody on the field. And oh, by the way, Nick Chubb is not the same. I'm all for Travis Hunter, by the way. People ask me what I want to do in the draft. There's one fantasy that I want to live in, and it's never gonna happen. But I would sign up for it so quick, it would make my head spin off. If we could somehow get Shador with Deion Sanders, it would be the one thing that I'd be okay with them testing where I'm like, whatever happens, happens, because I know Deion Sanders can change a culture. And I hope the players on this team understand while I am sitting here and I'm feels like I'm pressing the panic button saying we took so many steps back. I don't think talent is going to be an issue. I don't think talent is going to be a hard thing to come by. I think which the hard thing is going to be what you convinced this group of guys to do, and that was to buy into Cleveland. Because now Cleveland is right back on the doorstep of jokes. Cleveland is right back at the butt of everything. Cleveland is right back to being Browns as the Browns. And how do you convince anybody to take less money? How do you convince anybody that we're going to be competing for a Super Bowl? How do you do these things that you got to do these past few years? You're not going to get it. And if I'm a player, I have to sit here and be like, number one, why would I come to Cleveland? Y'all don't have the bag. I mean, Cap is a myth, obviously, but like players that think they're going to come here and get overpaid, that's not happening because we overpaid the most important position and he's played 18 games for 17 games for us. And other people are going to be coming up on contracts who you need to pay. So if I'm Jimmy Haslam, I would love to be a fly on the wall, honestly, in the meeting rooms and with all that stuff because I don't know how you can sit here and be like, "Yo, Barry, we're-" like imagine this. Imagine you get it's end of the season and you've got to do your end of the evaluation meeting. And it's like, "Okay, Andrew Barry, tell me why I should retain you this year." Like we just like remember, we just gave them extensions. Tell them you have to bring back the report and be like, "What did we do? What did we our goals? What did we smash?" Well, we wanted to win a division. That didn't happen. We wanted to make the playoffs. That didn't happen. We had aspirations to go to the Super. That was nowhere near happening. We thought that we were going to have this spread offense. That didn't happen. We developed a receiver in the draft, Amari Threat. That didn't happen. We figured out our offensive line situation. That didn't happen. Well, Deuce Staley and Ken Dort, they failed. Amari Cooper, he's not on our team. Hey, coach, where were you offensed? Well, what was the where was your rank? What was our offense ranked right now? Let's see. Oh, almost dead last. So why are you on our staff? Right? It's just send an email real quick. It's not a great position to be in if you're coaches and people in this organization. And I'm excited to ask. I'm excited to ask Phil what's going on. Like what direction do you go? You know, because right now I need some answers. And as a player who's been in these type of locker rooms where it seems like everything's going wrong, what is the feel in the locker room right now? What is the feel in the locker room right now? Check the draft board. Check the draft board. Travis Hunter, number 1. That's who I want. I want Travis Hunter more than anybody. We better not take a running back at 4. Honestly, I need to go back to the basics in this draft. This draft, give me a freaking offensive lineman. Trade down, get another late first round pick or an early second round pick. And they've never more had to look for the future than they do right now. Like, you have a perfect opportunity. There's going to be one of these teams that fall in love with one of these quarterbacks, and you may be able to get a haul. Steelers won. Yeah, you don't make Tomlin underdogs at home, bro. You don't make the Steelers underdogs at home. Like, that's the one thing you don't do. I don't know. All right. We got my man ready to lock in. We got to figure out what's going on. So we got former first round pick for the Cleveland Browns. My man, it's been long overdue. So we cashing in the rain check to talk some sports real quick. Got my man Phil Taylor getting ready to lock in. Let me add him to the stage real quick. Let me see. I don't do too many guests, so I gotta see. There we go. What's up, baby?
Chilling. I ain't got my usual setup. Had to make it quick.
Oh, you good, bro? I'll get you in and out real quick. I just want to get a couple
I
thoughts.
just had to put it on the iPad real quick, you know.
Okay, I see you got the wall of shoes back there ready to step on business.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. So let me not take too much of your time. I know you're a busy man. Right out the gate, just give me your first initial thoughts because this is what are we watching right now?
It was tough, man. First, I missed the first little bit because I just got back from New Orleans. I had to do an event last night out there, so I was in and out. But yeah, it was tough, man. Just letting Taysom Hill just run all over our defense. It was hard. It was hard to watch, man. I mean. Then the O line, we're just riddled on the O line. It's tough. It's tough to watch, man. But I mean, I still, I know the guys out there deep down still fighting. But yeah, it's tough.
What's the locker room feel like right now? Like when you come out of a bye week and you have this type of preparation, and as a player, you kind of have this feeling. It's like, okay, they're sending out Jameis Winston, so in our mind, we're gonna try to win, right? Our goal is to come out here and win. And then you come out here and you give up 35 points and you only score 14, but Jameis Winston throws for 400. Like, what's your mindset as a player when you see this out of a bye week?
We got limited mistakes, not to mention 3 missed field goals. It's deflating. It's deflating for offense. You go all the way down, and you got to rely on the field goal, and we missed 3 of them. D Hop, my guy. You know what I mean? I played with him my last 2 years while I was in Washington, but it's tough, man. That's a position where you have a couple bad games, and next thing you know, you on the couch next week. You know what I mean? But all around, man, it's one of those weeks. I know in the locker room it wasn't much said, but you know what time it is. We got to get shit going. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm pretty sure this week a lot of people gonna be walking on eggshells in the building.
Where did this game turn wrong? I mean, it was 14-14 at one point. Nick Chubb comes out on that one drive where we get the touchdown, goes 30 yards on the ground. Jameis Winston throws an absolute dot to Elijah Moore. Everything looks like it's starting to click. Then that very next drive, they go, I believe, 6 consecutive passes and abandon the run game completely. And then from then on, it was just like, I just want to know, why did it go wrong when everything seemed like it was going right?
That was one of them things I hate, man. Like why? Like you see a lot of coaches do that. They'll start and they get bored. So they want to switch it up themselves. But the stuff that they've been doing is working. You can't think you're gonna pass without running the ball sometimes to loosen up the defense. You know what I mean? So it's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? So you gotta give your big dogs the ball. Ain't no way Chubb shouldn't be running all over these guys, man. And then you got Njoku out there. We got too many monsters just to be only putting up 14 points on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah, the offensive line is not the greatest, but at the same time, damn it, it's the NFL. You got to be able to fucking make plays.
I mean, it was we circled through linemen last year. Like as a coach, how important was that Callahan loss? Because I've said it was the biggest departure or the biggest move that didn't happen last year. Obviously, you're going to lose out to your son to that every time. But how big of a loss is it to see Callahan go and then see your line go from one of the best that has been a staple for 10 years go to literally being the worst?
Yeah, I don't know why they let Callahan go. I was in Washington with Callahan, and I hated practice going against their O-line. He used to work the mess out of them guys, but they were good. He had them good in Washington, and I don't know why Cleveland would get rid of him. But yeah, once I knew he was in Cleveland, I was like, oh, the O-line is in good hands. You know what I mean? And you know, it's above my pay grade, as we would say in the building. So we don't know.
Is it Black Monday tomorrow? Like, there needs to be some type of change tomorrow. No, you don't come out. Tell me I'm crazy. You don't come out of bye week and get your blowers done off with expecting to win with Winston, and there not be some type of change. And if there is a change, who's the guy?
I don't know. You think Stefanski's on the hot seat right now?
I would say I don't think it's him. Is he on the hot seat? Absolutely. Um, I think I just don't see how you come out of this week and be like, yeah, we're gonna run this back, or yeah, we're gonna let DTR get a shot. You know what I mean? Like maybe I'm just crazy and thinking that there should have been a different result or at least a better type of effort coming out of a bye week. I think maybe am I holding too much weight on the bye week?
Not necessarily, because sometimes a bye week can be bad for you. A lot of guys get, you can get lazy on the bye week with them days off and not practicing as hard. And then for some people, it helps because, it's a long season and that week off, you know what I mean? But some guys, we like to just go through. The hell with a bye week, just go through. I feel like that pause kind of messes up some people's flow, you know what I mean? And it throws a wrench into things. But who knows, man? Each guy's different. They take the bye weeks different, man. So
So
who
let me
knows? It's not a good look coming out of a bye because definitely your legs at least supposed to be fresh. You know what I mean? But depending on if they, they had a tough bye week to where they were practicing more. So who knows?
Well, I know you got to get ready to get up out of here. Let me get a couple more questions. One more question, and I just want to get a little feel for how the event went down in Nola. Um, was the extension to Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski the right move this past offseason? Because last year, expectations shifted. When you go 11-6, I know the expectation wasn't to be that. and but when you find a way to go through adversity, to get through the 10 season and the injuries, and you play through 3 and 4 stringers, and you go into this playoff game with expectations to not only win but to make a legitimate run, and then you lose to the coach who more than likely probably should have got coach of the year that year in a terrible way. You don't just lose, you lose in a terrible way. And then you come out and extend the coach who there were still questions, I feel like, or was it about. So was it the right move to extend them this year, or should they have waited until after this year? Because we have a conundrum on our hands, do we not?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, coming off of a playoff, that's always a good thing, for the coaches and GM, whatever resume or whatever. But yeah, you got to prove it, man. One little, playoff win, when I don't think it's necessarily a lot, you know what I mean? But I probably would have waited a little bit, in my opinion, because that's like a player having one good season and then, 3 subpar seasons, but still getting a nice deal, you know what I mean? Kind of thing like that. But like I said, it is what it is. They gonna do what they want to do. You know what I mean? We can talk about it till we blue in the face, man. Usually if it makes sense, they ain't gonna do it. That's my saying when it comes to stuff. When you're looking from the outside in and be like, yo, this will make a lot more sense. Yeah.
Well, I know I said that was the last thing. This is the last thing on this. What direction do they go from here? How does the rest of the season look for the Cleveland Browns?
I think they just gotta let them ride it out. I mean, I don't think we're not in a position to fire anybody, nor should we, because they're only gonna make things worse. You know what I mean? I think you gotta let them ride it out, and figure this thing out in the offseason. Stefanski, he's a great coach, and I feel like he's gotten a better shot, than a lot of the coaches I had. You know what I mean? So, and I had some good coaches that, that didn't get a shot, even though they only gave them a year. You know what I mean? And they just gave them a year, and it was just a bad year. A lot the coaches, they need more than just 1 year. You know what I mean? So I don't think they're in a position where they're going to fire them or what I'm saying, nothing like that. I don't know, like, who was calling the plays today?
Dorsey's been calling the plays for the past 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. So I don't know. I don't think they'll go back to some fancies because that's just gonna look crazy. Like, y'all can't figure out who can call the plays.
So that's my problem with all of this, Phil. Like, I don't understand how you go into this next year. It's like you've already threw away that card. You've used the card where we got to strip Kevin Stefanski. How do you tell players, oh, we're going to go back to Kevin Stefanski and let him call the plays? Now, me personally, you brought him here because of his offensive mind. So that's why it's like I wanted change. But once you tell Stefanski to give up the play calling, you can't go back to that. So if you're going into next season, I don't see a picture where Kevin Stefanski is our coach next year. I for that reason alone, you can't go back to him on the play calling.
I can see one, but it would have to be we have to get they would bring in a new offensive coordinator, and that coordinator would run it, the offense. And that's the thing about some head coaches are better at being the coordinator. I think head coaches should oversee, but you got an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator for a reason. Let them coordinate, but oversee. Like, I don't get why some head coaches, they want to, have their cake and eat it too type, you know what I mean? I'm like, what's the point of having an offensive coordinator if the head coach is going to call the plays?
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Who would want to come here to coach then? Like, my thing is that's
where it's heading. It's already tough to get players to come here, and now if it's going to be tough to get coaches to come here, what the hell? You know what I mean? So I think the big guys up top, front office, they're gonna figure it out. So
be real. Do you think they really just gonna try to keep afloat until Brook Park? Because my gut tells me it's like I have to see what they do in this offseason, and I obviously have to see what moves they make.
That's 4 years. That's 4 years? We've been bad longer than that. What's another 4 years?
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm looking from it. From it's like
I look, they getting their money. They still getting their money. They ain't got to worry about it. You
how
know,
you spend this to the fans though? Like you can't string us along for 4 years, bro. That's just so unfair. Like when we were
I mean,
close.
it's a business at the end of the day. That's what a lot of fans don't know. I learned that shit, man. It's a business at the end of the day. It's a show for you guys. You guys put your hard-earned money in there. Well, this is a business. It's 32 companies. It ain't. It's companies. 30. It ain't 32 teams. It's 32 companies out there.
Mhm.
That's all it is.
So basically, what we boiling down to is like, buckle up for 4 years of Browns is the Browns.
What's 4 years? It's the Browns.
I
Like,
was, bro. I was telling the live stream. I was like, man, there was like I think he was like a 12-year-old kid or something, and he was like, yeah, I've seen the Browns go to the playoffs 2 times already. I'm like, y'all don't understand how spoiled this younger generation is. Like, this is the worst
spoiled,
season. Spoiled, bro.
spoiled.
Because this season has 4-12 written all over it. And I don't even know if we can get do you see another win the rest of this year?
Yeah, for sure. Like, we ain't gonna just.
Who?
The type of players in that locker room, they ain't gonna just lay down. They ain't gonna just lay down. But at this point, lay down for the number 1 pick. Shit. Go ahead and lay it down for that. I don't call it tanking.
Who you want?
I call it strategize.
Who you taking then? If the Browns end up getting a number 1 overall pick, which looking like right now they got a really good shot to do it, who you taking?
It'll have to be a QB or something. You got to.
But with no line,
go ahead, bring Shador and Dion in. Come on, package.
That's what I want. I said if there's one thing that I don't want Shador by himself though. I think this city would eat Shador up. I think Shador has an opportunity.
Shador ain't going. I don't think Shador going. I mean,
Shador wouldn't. Dion not letting him come here.
If Dion not coaching here, and hypothetically, they gonna pull up what's the name of Eli.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, they ain't gonna let it happen.
So
it sucks. It sucks. For a fan, and if I was a player thinking man, this might be our guy, but they don't want to come here just because of our history, man. Like, we gotta spend these big bucks and go get these guys, man. These teams that put money into their guys in the off season and go get these coaches from these guys from these good trees, man. They make it happen.
But see, here's my
But some
problem.
of these teams, I'm not saying it's the Browns, but some of these teams, like I said, they okay with being mediocre.
I don't think
they still getting their money at the end. They still getting their money at the end of the day. Like, these teams, like, they're okay. These owners, man, they okay with being mediocre. They getting their money.
But see, you talk about going out and paying players. We got $180 million into this offense. That's my problem that I'm having. Like, we looking at a team down south with the Bengals.
We made a bad investment a little bit, but we got to do what we got to do to get up out of that. Yeah, we made a bad investment. Let's figure it out. Because them 3 picks we lost hurt from D-Watt. I feel bad about D-Watt, but at the same time, we didn't get what we paid for.
We didn't get nowhere near. We didn't get a fraction of it
at all. You know what I'm saying? And it's not easy. I was 2 years removed from football before I, landed in Washington. It ain't easy to come back, and I was a D lineman. You know what I'm saying? So I feel him on that part. I feel like he got dealt a shitty hand, man.
It feels like everybody gets dealt a shitty hand in Cleveland whenever they come here with an expectation. And it's just like, I know I put one of the biggest expectations on this team. And I've asked the question 1,000 times to everybody, and I'll ask you, is this the worst season that the Browns have had since 99? Because I think I'm in the camp where it is.
How?
Because we had because we had expectations to not only to win the division. We had $180 million in offense. Watson was healthy. David Njoku had the best season he ever had. Chubb was coming back. You signed JOK. Everyone's under contract. Myles Garrett just got the Defensive Player of the Year. You got another Coach of the Year. You got all of these things surrounding us. And then we come out and do the most Cleveland thing that we ever done. At least when we was 1-15 and 0-16, there was no really expectation to go do what we was trying to do. We feel we not only did we fall on our face, we let every troll that trolls us get the last laugh yet again because we are the low-hanging fruit and we just continue to be picked because we're allowing it. And I just feel like as a fan, this is way worse than being like, yeah, bro, we suck. We know it. We gonna watch this and enjoy it. 0-6, like for crying out loud, we threw a parade for going 0-16. I don't think nobody's throwing a parade because we this bad right now. So that's why I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, I feel the people that say that those years were the worst, but no, the expectation that we had and everything that all the players, will we ever have talent like we have right now? This is the most talent this team has ever had, and will we ever get that again? That's why I'm so upset.
I think we can because I mean, to be honest, at the end of the day, the players, the ones that's out there playing, we got to make better decisions. We look good on paper, but our play ain't showing it. You know what I mean? I don't know if Stefanski seems to me he's not really a crazy vocal, get on your ass type of coach. You know what I mean? He's kind of like I feel like he's a little soft spoken, and a lot of guys
you're not running through a wall for him. Say it.
Yeah, they not buying into that. You got like me playing if a coach got on my ass about something, like that show he really cared. Like if you ain't yelling and cussing, yeah, I mean,
especially with the swag that these players play with. It's like I like to talk about our team. Our team is that young dude that's got it all, but needs a little bit of guidance. And the little bit of guidance that he need isn't that gentle little bit of guidance. They need that man. My grandmama don't let me do nothing. My mama don't. They need that. Take your shoes off in my house, boy, if I pop you in your mouth. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of thing that this group of guys need. And you
I feel
didn't.
like the leader, like they ain't got that crazy that leader. Yes, Miles, he leads by example. Miles, you know who Miles remind me of? You seen the movie Friday Night Lights?
No.
The preacher. It was a guy on the football team. He was probably the best dude on the team. He didn't talk much, but he led by example. That's Miles. They need another guy that's a vocal leader too, that can talk to guys. And you need to be honest. Like when we were there, we had the Quail and these guys. If you mess up, they gonna let you know you messed up. You know what I'm saying? Guys wasn't afraid to get in the fight over the betterment of the team. Like you ain't gonna be out here, you know what I'm saying, goofing off and not working hard while we out here, you know what I mean? So it's like the players alone, they need to have a coming to Jesus meeting together. Let's figure this thing out.
But it's the
Because at the
same
end of the day,
guys.
yeah, the coaches, they put you in the best position they can to win. But at the end of the day, the players got to go execute.
Do you think the coaches have though? That's the question. Then since you posed it like that, have the coaches put this? And I'm talking about.
It seems like no, because we can't even figure out who's going to call the plays. We're going back and forth who calling the plays. You know, I really haven't liked the play calling because I feel like we don't really necessarily like we got to get Chubb going. We got to get the run game going. We not running the ball like we've been in the past, and that's what I see. We're not physical on the offensive side of the ball.
And that's Kevin Stefanski's model. See, I pulled up the stat, and I'll read it off to you. Every year since Stefanski has departed from Minnesota, they have finished above this. Do you know where Minnesota finished the year after he departed? The very next year, they finished 4th in offense. They finished above us every single year. How is that? You brought Kevin Stefanski here to elevate your offense, and yet the team that he left, you had to start. You ran Stephon Diggs out of Minnesota. Adam Thielen went off a cliff. I mean, I think he had one more good season after that. But you seen what he did to that, and then the second he leaves, the offense just turns into a top 5 offense of the league. I mean, granted, I know that you usher in Justin Jefferson, but that's maximizing the talent that you have. We didn't have talent. We had Jarvis, we had Odell, we had David Njoku, we had Nick Chubb. We had the talent, and yet the talent has not been maximized. That's why I don't want to go through another year. Like I don't. If they want to bring back Kevin Stefanski, I'm fine with that. But I need to, like you said, if you're gonna bring in an offensive coordinator, let him handle the offense because you saw what you did when you let Jim Schwartz just handle the defense, and I still think that philosophy is there.
I
But
like Schwartz. I like Jim Schwartz.
oh
He
man,
lets guys be who they are and let them go full speed at doing that. You know what I mean? That's what I like about it.
man, let's not spend too much more time on this BS. Let's get into the NOLA thing real quick. How was the event, man? How was
It was
everything down
cool,
here?
man. It was a little Browns backers event. It was at a place called Mid City Yacht Club. It was nice, little cool, great New Orleans vibe. But it was all Browns there, baby. All
That's what
Browns.
I heard.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
You got any more events coming up this year?
I do not know yet. Who we got on the away games? I might.
I think
Who knows?
we got both of the divisions. We got Cincy and Baltimore. Oh, we got Pittsburgh too. We got 3 division games on the road.
Okay.
And then I think the rest are at home. We got Kansas City coming
Miami,
into town.
yeah.
Dolphins come in.
Oh.
So
Yeah, I might. Yeah, I definitely. Shit, I might go down to that Pittsburgh one. Nah, I don't want to get in trouble out there.
I mean, I think I might be down there. I don't know if I'm going to the game, but I might go down and do the tailgate and everything.
Go do that.
How's the Sun football going? Everything good?
Yeah. They already done with their season or whatever, man. I just been chilling, man. I'm on puppy duty, man. Our golden doodle had puppies, so.
Oh dang, is that a small puppy?
Yeah, the mini golden doodles, man.
Oh
Yeah.
damn, we actually with me and my the lady was just talking about maybe getting the kids one for Christmas.
Let me know. They'll be 8 weeks, December 20th.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to hit your line and see. Send me some pictures and I'll send them to wifey and let her look because
Yeah, for sure.
she messaged me and was like, "Oh, we should get them a puppy for Christmas." I'm like, "We got 2 pits at the house right now." I'm like, "I want
We
one."
got American Bullies too. We got American Bullies, German Shepherd. We got all that shit.
Ugh, you got the real dog pound over there going crazy.
Kennel over this motherfucker.
Well, shoot, Phil, man, I appreciate you hopping on and giving me some of your time. We're going to have to chop it up again. You got any thoughts on the cast? You tapped into the cast?
I ain't been, man, I'm not a big basketball guy. But I have been peeping this year, man. They 14-0 now?
14-0. They got a game in an hour and 15.
I might tune in tonight, but I might not because I don't want to tune in and be the first time they lost. So I might leave it how it is.
When I say I was so scared because I live streamed against the Bulls the first night, I'm like, oh my God, they about to lose because they went on that 14-2 run. And I'm like, they gonna cook me. And then they won it, and then they won the next day. I'm like, okay, it ain't me, so we can get past that, bro. So I was already thinking it. So I feel you on that one, bro.
For sure. But yeah, man, like I said, they doing good though, man. But we gotta win when it matters, man. It's a long season.
Mm-hmm.
That 14-0, it can get because it can go bad real quick in the NBA. It's a lot of games. But I hope they keep doing it, man. We got a young squad. We got some better bigs. I think they're getting a lot more physical now. That was the thing the last 2 years with Mobley and these guys, man. I'm like, y'all so skinny, you gotta get physical, man. Like I gotta do some squats like football players, man. I'm like,
Mobley got bigger too. I mentioned that when I first watched him. I'm like,
because that playoff was it last year? They was the Knicks.
oh yeah,
they was in there getting bullied down.
They was bullying them for real.
Yeah, I don't like that. You gotta be tough, man.
They got them turned up though, man. They playing a great brand of basketball.
For sure. Once Garland and Mitch figure out they can coexist together, they locked in.
It's tough to beat 130 points a night, man. Especially when you got a good defense like ours.
Tough.
Mm-hmm. All right, brother, man. Well, I'll let you go and get up out of here, man. I appreciate you tapping in and have a good rest of your night.
Yeah. We definitely gonna have to hop on the stream, man, another time though, for sure.
Absolutely. You know, we got the number, and don't forget to send me them pictures so I can see what the little pups looking like.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got you.
All right, brother. I'll see you later.
Sure.
All right, chat. That's going to do it for this episode of the Crockpot Podcast. I got to go take a little bit of break and get ready for this calf stream. We will be live for it, so I'll catch you guys in like an hour, all right? Peace.